What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. We've got some breaking news. Trump has now been sentenced, and his 34 ridiculous felony counts have been upheld. Apparently, our incoming president, in just 10 days, is and will remain a convicted felon. Judge Juan Merchan, who is a piece of absolute disgraceful garbage, in my opinion, held a Zoom call this morning, and it was absolutely infuriating. The mainstream media's response to it is predictable, and the whole thing makes our entire justice system look like a joke. Now, there are a lot of repercussions from this and a lot of fallout that's going to come from it, and I want to get into all that after a super quick word from this video sponsor, Private Internet Access. Shout out to this video's sponsor, Private Internet Access. Look, if you aren't using a VPN yet, you're completely missing out, and Private Internet Access is the one I use on all of my devices. If you've been following the news, you see that censorship, websites, apps are getting shut down in certain countries, all sorts of craziness. Well, a VPN helps you never have to worry about that. Private Internet Access also protects you from the prying eyes of hackers, internet service providers, and others that can view your personal data. Perhaps also just as importantly, Private Internet Access allows you to access region-restricted content from all over the world. Streaming services like Netflix, Amazon Prime, and more have different library options based on where you're located, and some shows simply cannot be accessed if you're not in the target location. Happens to me all the time. Many sports events also have regional blackouts. Well, VPNs can be a convenient way to make sure you're getting the content that you're paying for. Private Internet Access also allows you to protect an unlimited amount of devices all at the same time, so your entire household with a single subscription. And I've been working with Private Internet Access so long that I have an absolutely massive discount available to my viewers. Link in the description below. Get Private Internet Access today using my link. Save huge, protect your computers, access all the content that you've been paying for, and ensure that your internet is never censored. Judge sentences Trump in hush money case, but declines to impose any punishment. Well, what does that mean? That just means that it's all been ceremonial, and this is a massive cope that will undoubtedly be overturned in appeal. But this is literally them saying, well, all we really wanted to do was to be able to call him a felon. Because I mean, if the crime 34 felonies carrying no penalty, what's a felony even mean? President-elect Donald Trump was sentenced Friday in his hush money case, but the judge declined to impose any punishment, an outcome that cements his conviction while freeing him to return to the White House unencumbered by the threat of jail term or a fine. No fine, no jail term, but then the libs get to finally forever say, hey, he's a convicted felon. So what? Nobody cares. You think Trump cares? No. You think this isn't getting overturned? Of course it's getting overturned. The punishment-free judgment makes a quiet end to an extraordinary case for the first time put a former president and major presidential candidate in a courtroom as a criminal defendant. The case was the only one of 4 criminal indictments that have gone to trial, and possibly the only one that ever will. Because all of them, by the way, including the hush money thing, is complete nonsense. It was a complete farce. It was literally lawfare to try and stop him from being president. Leave a like on the video if you agree with that. You know, like, I don't understand how any, like, unbiased person, anybody who is just normal, could look at this and think, hey, we think that this is normal and that he was definitely guilty of it. He definitely wasn't prosecuted for political reasons. Manhattan Judge Juan Merchan could have sentenced the 78-year Republican up to 4 years in prison. I wish he had. Instead, he chose a sentence that sidestepped thorny constitutional issues by effectively ending the case, but making sure he assured that Trump will become the first person convicted of a felony to assume the presidency. Unlike his last trial, last year when Trump brought allies to the courthouse and addressed waiting reporters outside the courthouse, the former president did not appear in person on Friday, instead making a brief virtual appearance from his home in Palm Beach, Florida. Trump wearing a dark suit and seated next to one of his lawyers with an American flag in the background, appeared on the video screen. He is seen again as he insisted he did not commit a crime. It's been a political witch hunt. It's been done to damage my reputation so that I would lose the election, and obviously that didn't work, Trump said. Trump called the case a weaponization of government and an embarrassment to New York. Does anybody disagree with that? Is there any chance of even there is no disagreeing with that. It's just absolutely positively the truth. Trump's sentence of an unconditional discharge caps a norm-smashing case that saw the former and future president charged with 34 felonies, put on trial for almost 2 months, and convicted by a jury of morons. Yet the legal detour and sordid details aired in the court of the plot to bury affair allegations didn't hurt him with the voters who elected him to a second term. Yeah, get wrecked. This is like, I don't know, the ultimate cuckoldry. This is like, well, you're still going to be a felon. Rashawn said that, like when facing any other defendant, he must consider any aggravating factors before imposing a sentence, but the legal protection that Trump will have as president is a factor that overrides all others. Despite the extraordinary breadth of these legal protections, one power they do not provide is to erase a jury verdict. Yeah, you totally got him with your gay lame moral victory. With your lame moral victory. Trump briefly addressed the court by video, said his criminal trial and conviction have been a terrible experience, and insisted he committed no crime. Before Friday's hearing, Merchan had indicated he planned no penalty sentence, called for an unconditional discharge, which meant no jail time, no probation, and no fines. So the conviction is literally ceremonial only. Like these people are unbelievable losers. By the way, today the Supreme Court's also considering the TikTok ban right now too, which is going to be very interesting. Today's going to be a big day of news. If you haven't yet, please make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn notifications on. YouTube is definitely trying to screw with my channel. Obviously, if you watch on Rumble, I appreciate that. I prefer people watch on Rumble, but it doesn't really matter to me. I just want you to be able to get my content and watch it. I'm working on, I heard Odyssey stopped importing my videos. There must be something with YouTube. I will now have someone be manually uploading them as well. I mean, Trump calls the sentencing a despicable charade. It is. Just listen to the court. Listen to the way MSNBC reports on it, and you'll know everything you need to know about this.
In the interest of public interest, because of the fact that it's going to hinder his ability to really follow through and be a president, then give him unconditional discharge. Still allow him to be accountable, to be saddled with that felony conviction, those felony convictions, I should say, 34 of them, but let him know that this type of misconduct cannot go forward.
So, Adam, talk to us about unconditional discharge, what it means and what does that carry?
So normally a felony sentence, even without prison time, you'd be checking in with the probation department. You'd be subject to drug and alcohol testing. You'd be subject to fines. Each felony conviction would have up to a maximum of $5,000 fine times 34. Here, an unconditional discharge is really done. You live with the stigma of the felony.
Which is all it ever was about. It's literally all this was ever about.
And you do have certain collateral consequences. Trump had a gun permit. I believe that the NYPD has now rescinded his gun permit. There are certain collateral consequences, but basically he is done. Yet he lives as
the man whose life is at the most risk no longer can legally defend himself with the Second Amendment. That's what they wanted.
Felon. He goes into office as a convicted felon.
Adam, can I just get your thoughts on, again, the unprecedented moment that we are living in now? This is going to be the only president in the history of this country to have been sentenced on criminal felony charges.
It is unprecedented. It is historic.
Who cares?
It is different. But
Doesn't
I come
matter.
back to it's the same as every single day in America. Criminals are convicted for their crimes and go and move forward with their lives carrying that stigma of a felony conviction.
I mean, do you think Trump cares? Trump simply just does not care. He doesn't care about this crap. These fake felony convictions are all nonsense. It's absolutely positively ridiculous that this is even a case. You know, Juan Merchan's daughter sure made a good amount of money off this, didn't she? You know, the idea that this guy, say this, watch and share, the media will not report on this in the video. Let's look at this.
From this case. Not only that, the judge's daughter, Lauren Merchan, is the president of a political advocacy group called Authentic Campaigns, whose clients include the Biden-Harris campaign. Just so you understand, the judge's daughter makes millions of dollars working on campaigns against Donald Trump. Here's the website. On the website, it claims the company raised $562 million. This is a major financial incentive by the judge to convict Donald Trump. Not only that, the judge's wife worked for New York Attorney General Letitia James.
Wow, what a
The
coincidence.
Epoch Times reported that they had reviewed records that show the wife, Laura Merchan, worked for 21 years as special assistant to the Attorney General, including 3 years under Letitia James. She changed jobs 2 years ago. That means the wife worked for Letitia James during the period that Letitia James was building her case against Donald Trump. Is it just me, or does this seem like corruption to anyone else? This is insane. I have never seen a judge more compromised than this judge. His wife is working against Donald Trump. His daughter is making millions of dollars campaigning against.
I mean, the whole thing is so ludicrously corrupt. I just don't know where to begin. But Trump's going to be president in 10 days, and I hope he rains retribution down on all of these corrupt losers. No forgive and forget. That's not what I voted for. I voted for a reckoning. Make sure to leave a like on this video if you haven't yet. Please do subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.